questions, concerns.
This meeting is being recorded.
If anything pops up, please just say, hey, let's go into greater depth and detail, because we've all had closings now. Melanie's had closings. You did your, is this your first, Yolanda?
Yep, this is my first. And congratulations, Melanie. Oh, is this her first too, or she had some
No,
already?
well, I mean, she's had closings in the past, so this stuff should,
Gotcha.
revitalize and bring to remembrance.
No, this is my first.
About. Yeah, so, here, so this.
Congratulations on your first closing.
Thank you so much.
So can you all see my screen?
It's still dark on my end here.
It's just spinning on my end. Oh wait, there it goes.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
Now to see that?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So we're in phase 3. We have a contract. Like, you'll notice some of these things you just finished off doing. And I liked this picture because it talked about a lot of things that go into even getting to a ratified contract, right? Like amendments, agreements, right? Having a contract is basically a meeting of the minds, right? So I really like this because it talks about a lot of things that we got to do to get there. If you've seen the previous 2 phases, there was a lot of work that took us to get to this point. And so this should be a happy time. You should feel validation that you know what you're doing. All of those things that make you want to do it again. And so I started off by saying rinse, wash, repeat in some of the initial things, but like we're always building on it. We're always building, kind of like I like to consider it like a hurricane where it's spinning and at the bottom it's small, but it's really big at the top, right? Where you're starting to pick up revolutions. It's really, really happening fast for you. So that's kind of where we want to get you at and keep you if that's what you want. All right. So phase 3, we have a contract. All right. So we ratified. Now what's next? All right. So we all know, and I'm sure on your buyer side, once you start doing buyers, like the land that you did, sis, and Melanie, you helped the buyer too, right? Because you had to take down a fence, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
All right. So when we ratified our contracts, we had to send them to certain people to start that processing, right? So not only do we have to send it back to our client so that they have a copy and a reference, but on both sides, we have to send to the title company so that they can start processing. And we'll dig deeper into what each of these companies do. And as our resources, as we talk about resources, this is something that you always want to be staying on top of. Okay.
So we got to send you said we got to send the ratified contract to the title company?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Even if you're the listing agent, if you're the buyer's agent, definitely, but you have to send it. Okay. Now, I mean, somebody's closing this deal, right?
Right.
So for you in particular, like that land, for example, it's a cash deal, right?
Yes.
Right. But somebody still has to have the closing documents prepared for you, recorded in the public record, things of that nature, right?
Right.
Who does that?
I think I need to get in touch with them. To make sure.
The title company does that, right?
Right.
So you got to get it over there to them. So for you, check with the seller. What title company are they using? Maybe y'all can close together.
Yeah, I did that, but I think I didn't. I need to make sure that I send that over to them because I haven't done that yet. I don't think.
So
okay.
My very first deal was a land deal, and it was very different than selling a house.
All right.
There was like other steps involved.
Talk to me in what way? What happened?
Well, I mean, yes, you have to do the ratified contract to a title company, and they will run a search, but you also need to run a search yourself, well, or your client, whatever county it's in. They also had to get the land perked, like a percolation test, if they're going to be building on the land, to make sure that it's going to, be enough for whatever they want.
Sustain the weight of the house that they want to put on, or the business, or.
And then a survey, especially if it's just like open land. If it's in a neighborhood, maybe they don't have to do a survey but you do a survey so that way you know where your property lines are.
Yeah. Who else
Right,
does? Who else does a
but
survey
don't the
for you?
title company do that?
Yep.
Some
the title
some of
company
them
will
do it,
survey
some
for
of them do not. We
Okay.
we had to find our own company to do it.
you. Okay.
Okay, I think the one that I got does do it, and the land doesn't perk. It's just strictly for amenities only, but the buyer wanted to buy it and understood that because he's looking there for like a tax write-off and are allowing others to use the boat slips and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
And that's
Yeah.
what I love is every deal is different. You see that? Like one person, y'all both sold some land or helped somebody buy some land, but your deals are totally different. And so sometimes you're not going to know, oh, I got to do something a little bit differently, or okay, because every deal is not going to be amenities only, right? Right, Yolanda? Somebody might buy a 30-acre piece of land and it's not going to be only for the amenities,
Right.
and vice versa. Melanie, you might run across somebody that wants to buy a piece of land that has it's only for a certain thing. It's not for building a house. So then you might not have to do the perk tests. You might not have to do certain other things. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, it does.
All right, perfect. So yeah, buyer's agent or seller's agent, you got to send it to the title company. Okay. Then if you're the buyer's agent specifically, you need to send it to your lender. So when you ratify a contract, this is the 3 places it has to go to.
Okay, say those places again. But this is
It
for
has
the
to be-
buyer.
well, some of it's kind of interwoven. So
Okay.
listing agent, buyer's agent, you got to send it to your client. And you
Got
have
it.
to send it to the title company. Those 2 people have to get it, right? I mean, think about it. You just ratified a contract. You got the clients what they wanted. Wouldn't you send in the contract to say, here, congratulations?
Right.
Right? I mean,
Right.
that's just natural. The title company, that's one of your resources. So whoever you're working with, they need to see that contract so they can start processing it. What else does the title company do? We said, okay, they do a survey. They make sure certain things, but they also ensure that the person selling it has the right to sell it.
Yeah, no liens on it.
No liens, none of that stuff. Title company is very important. Okay. They also record the deed into the public record, right? That's why when you close, you start getting all these emails. Hey, congratulations on your closing. Hey, I got these preview ads for you. Advertise this, right? Because now it's recorded into the public record. Okay. And then if you're the buyer's agent, you need to send it to your lender, as well as the title company and your client, right?
Even if it's a cash deal, we don't have to worry about that. Of
Yeah,
course.
no, exactly.
Right.
There you go. See, if it's a cash deal, there's no lender involved,
So
right?
the lender, the title company, the actual buyer or seller, right?
All right, so hold on. So both agents have to
Okay.
always send it to their client and the title company.
Okay.
Only the buyer's agent will be sending it to the lender, and that's only if it's not a cash deal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that makes sense?
Yes.
All right. Now, very last thing, listing agents aren't sending their contract to the lender, yet they must stay in contact with the lender. Okay, so for example, right, you're the listing agent, you've accepted this deal. Normally listing agents may call the lender before they ever even ratify and say, hey, your agent said that y'all can close in 25 days. Is that possible? The lender may say, yes, that's possible. The lender's going to fill in that listing agent on everything that's going on, right? And then every couple of weeks, you just want to check in on that lender and say, hey, is everything moving smoothly with 123 Main Street? Is everything going well? Are we going to close on time? Okay. You just want to stay in contact. You don't have to send them anything, but you want to stay on top of stuff. You don't want 3 weeks to pass by on a 4-week closing, and then all of a sudden the buyer's agent says, oh, we got a problem with the lender. And you're like, well, what happened? and now you're 5-star alarm fire and you're trying to figure out what's happening, right? So you just want to keep in contact with the lender just a little bit. Any questions about that?
No, I'm tracking.
Okay. All right, hold on one second. Just in case. Okay. All right. Why? I think we went over this a little bit. We probably hit a lot of these things, right? Well, we talked about it just now. You know, the best thing I can say here is this is a perfect opportunity for you to reach out to your preferred lender or title company and ask specifically what they do when they receive a ratified contract. You know, I'm sure I've done a few deals, so like I missed some things that may be really big to you as a first time or as you're starting to get going. So I was just trying to think about everything that people do, you know. So these are the reasons why you want to reach out. Even if you're the listing agent, if I'm reaching out to the lender to make sure that everything is going well with the loan and underwriting, right? But if I'm the buyer's agent, especially now with interest rates going up, I'm making sure, hey, did they lock their rate in?
Right.
Okay. Those are the small things you just want to talk to people about. Hey, are you locking your rate in right now? Like they're, you know, a lot of times you're just helping them with the house and your resource, the lender is helping them with all these other things. But the more knowledgeable you are about what everybody else does, the more you can have an in-depth conversation and make sure that everybody's kind of holding their water. Okay. And then title company, buyer side or listing side, who has the earnest money deposit? If I'm the listing agent and I see on the sales contract that we just ratified, they got 3 days to give me the EMD, which is normally 1% of the house price. Earnest money deposit is also known as consideration. And it's mandatory to actually complete a deal. You have to have consideration, right? So, okay, who's holding it? Did it get there in 3 days? Okay. So there's a reason why listing agent or buyer's agent, you need to kind of know who does what with these resources. What does my lender do? If I'm the buyer's agent, if I'm the listing agent, I'm still reaching out to the lender just to make sure that they're on track. And title companies for both sides. Because the seller might not know. If you're the listing agent, the seller might not, he might have forgot. Oh, I got a lien against my house. I didn't realize. And then you learn that from the title company. Now they know, well, whoa. Can he pay your commission? Hey, can he even, you know, is this going to be a problem? Is it going to raise a red flag? Is it something that stops the deal? Okay. Abstract title search is the same thing. What if this seller is signing on his own behalf, but he has 2 or 3 other people that need to sign as well? You know, some people have policies that say, hey, we have first right of refusal. You can't just sell this to anybody. So things, you know, things will pop up in this title search. Okay. If things pop up in this title search that aren't favorable, that aren't good, maybe the title company will not issue title insurance to the buyer. If they do not issue title insurance to the buyer, that means they will not let you close. Okay. So that's why this is very important. Title insurance to the buyer for title is just as important as loan underwriting. If it doesn't get through underwriting, you can't close, right?
Correct.
All right, moving on. Inspections. As mentioned time and time again, every deal is different. So here are the most common, and sometimes you'll have none. But very, very, very straightforward, especially in this area. You know, home inspection, radon, well inspections, septic tank inspections. Okay. As the buyer's agent, you've seen the home and recognize the utilities and have the resources available to schedule the inspections for each. So you have to kind of now, once you get under contract, you become more of a team coordinator. You know, okay, we said that we want these inspections and we have 7 days to get them per the contract. So now it's like, okay, when are you available, Mr. Client? And then let me get the inspectors. And if you can do it really well, maybe you can get all of them there in the same day, right? Let me get everybody there on Tuesday. Radon just puts a box in the house. So it's not like they need something big. Depending on the size of the house, obviously home inspection is physical. And then the other two, well and septic. Well, I think they just check the water to make sure it's not bad. The structure, the integrity of the well. So it's not a long, prolonged thing. And same thing with the septic tanks. So a lot of times you can come in if you got 5 days. Last summer when the market was tougher, we were doing three-day inspections. And then we would get radon 7 days because they have to leave that box in the house for like 7 days, right? But we would do 3 days inspection. So we would like on day one, we would get the home, the well, the septic, everything on the same day. Okay. In that same time period, if I was a listing agent, I wouldn't want these contingencies, also known as buyer safeguards or buyer protections. Virginia is a buyer beware state. Okay. So just depending on your role, right? There are some people who have their clients as the listing agent, they have their clients get all of these inspections up front. Hey, get everything inspected and make sure that there's no issues. You have the reports right here. And then you offer those to the buyers and say, look, this house is clean. It's ready to live in. It's very well maintained. Okay. Again, most times these inspections are done within the first 7 days of ratifying your contract.
Okay.
All right. So closing day is approaching. Okay. The buyer's agent has got the inspections done. Normally, as I've told y'all all the time, if I'm a buyer's agent, when I got the inspections done, I'm really, really, really hunting for, not only other clients, but like a lot of your interaction or work with your client is going to the resources now. They're going to be asking them for 1,000 things. So I just want to send the utilities info and remind my clients about important dates. I got a little checklist. Okay. Yolanda, me and you just talked about final walkthrough a few days before closing
Yeah.
and possibly on the day of closing also.
Okay.
Okay. And then one big one for the buyers, especially when you're dealing in 6-figure, 7-figure homes that we have in this area, remind your buyer clients to send the funds to the closing company a few days before closing. A lot of people forget that.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So like, let's say you got an $800,000 house that you're closing on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the altar today, right? At the bottom, it said due from buyer, right?
Right.
They got to send that money in before closing. Like it has to be in the title company's account.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the title company is going to transfer that money to the seller, right?
Right. Okay.
So like, you can't just come in with a wad of cash.
Right.
So
Okay.
a couple days before closing, you have to have your client say, hey, don't forget to wire that money. Now, the title company is going to be telling them this 1,000 times over. Okay. So like, that's what I mean. The title company is going to be saying, I need all these documents. I need you to wire this. I need you to do that. If you're working with the buyer, the lender is going to be saying, hey, I need to wrap this up. I need to get all this information. So a lot of times they're going to be so stressed out from those two resources, like all the documents and stuff they need, that like, they're not going to really be calling you. You found them the home, you've negotiated the deal, for the most part, your hard lifting is over. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So if your hard lifting is over, if I were you and what I try to do, I know that it's tough. I would try to go automatically back to phase 1 of this cycle. Okay. Automatically go back to phase 1. Matter of fact, you never leave phase 1 because every day we're supposed to be lead generating, right?
Right.
We're always in phase 1. Okay. I just really want to put a bow on that. And that's why I kind of try to bring the presentation the way I did, because we're always in phase 1. And the more we stay in phase 1, the more we get to phase 2 and phase 3 more often. Okay. But look, as the buyer's agent, you're staying in contact with your title company. You're awaiting the clear to close from your lender. They say the C2C. You got the C2C, the clear to close. Okay. Be sure to call your title company and schedule your closing day and time. Again, you're like a team coordinator, right? Not only did you coordinate all these inspections, you made sure they got the checklist, the utilities information, you're also doing the final walkthrough, coordinating. If you can't be there, you can pay another agent on your team. Hey, can you show up for $50 for an hour? Everybody gets busy. Okay. But don't let these things slip by the wayside. All right.
Yep, gotcha.
All right. Now, if any issues arise at walkthrough, then an additional sales addendum to your sales contract may be needed to protect your client. Make sure that you get a client review. If you've done a good job, get a review. Hold on. Are we together on that? Melanie, did you get a review
Yep.
for your closing?
You said what?
Did you get a review from your closing from your client?
You mean like
No.
are you meaning like when you say review, are you talking about like a
review?
A customer service review?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, I didn't get that today.
Yeah. You have a website, right? Do you have a Google business page?
I do not. I need to get that.
Lock and load.
Yep.
I mean, they at one time people were I got like 13 reviews on Facebook, right? But like my Google business page has more. So like everybody doesn't translate reviews for some reason. So like
Right.
go somewhere that's going to translate them all for you, like Google business page, Yelp, even though I think they're a little bit tougher on Yelp sometimes.
Okay.
And there's been a lot more spoofs, like spoof customer reviews.
Right.
But like get something where where you can start building your experience through photos, because they say a picture says 1,000 words, right?
Right.
So same thing with the review. A lot of colleagues I work with, they're only looking at reviews. They're not even, sometimes like, it's like, okay, I got three options. Who has the highest review? And it sucks to say that, especially if you got unlucky with a bad client or things went wrong and temperatures flared or whatever that looks like, right? But, just be mindful of that. It's never too late, Melanie. If you did a good job, hey, man, would you mind sending me a review? Remember, I took that fence down for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's never too late. If you did a good job, and then while you got them on the phone, hey, if you know anybody else that needs help, I'd be more than willing to treat them the same way I treated you, with honesty, integrity, availability, knowledge. You never know. You might be able to get another client right there on the spot and a review. Okay. Like I told you, this is going to be quick because this is really easy. It's just the finer details, the finer points on things. Like me and Yolanda were talking about earlier, final walkthrough a few days before closing and possibly on the day of closing. I mean, think about it. Think about, we had a really, really, really rough winter this year, right? So like, think about if somebody didn't do a final walkthrough, we got a super snowstorm. What if the roof caved in?
I know my final walkthrough was a nightmare. We had like 4 final walkthroughs.
And that's why you do them. That's exactly, I'd rather have a nightmare final walkthrough than to not do it, let my client buy that house, then the next time they see that house, it's a beep show. It's a bad thing, right? Because then your client's like, well, you didn't protect me. In Virginia, they have a transaction recovery fund. Do we all remember that?
Yeah, I remember that for the test. That you have to put them. Is it something where you have to pay? The broker will have to pay.
The broker can be liable.
Yeah.
The broker could be liable for some of these things too. And that I've seen people get fired from their brokerages. They do too many bad deals, the error in emissions insurance. They're like, look, man, we can't afford to keep you around here no more. Because sooner or later, your luck is going to break. You're going to do something that costs your client money. That's going to be the type of client that has the time and the resources to go to court, to get a judgment against you. And then they're going to present it to the transaction recovery fund. And now they're gonna get a settlement. As soon as they get a settlement from the TRF, your license is revoked. It's suspended. It's gone until you pay that money back. And they could still say, hey, you did a bad thing, man. We can't let you back in. You just lost your job. All because you didn't do a final walkthrough.
Wow. Yeah.
You could have paid somebody, hey, man, I'll pay you $100. Just show up, open the door, and let them see the house. And then, I'll meet them at the closing table in an hour. So just food for thought, man. They have bad stories that like will scare you straight if you're looking for them. So just don't be one of those stories. Okay.
Yep.
The least amount of the problems is like reminding your buyers to send the funds, because like you could always close the next day. But if you have somebody that's really impatient, they can say, nah, you just breached the contract, right? Because you didn't do what you should have done. We didn't close on the right day. I breached the contract. What if they want to cancel and you did a non-refundable earnest money deposit, a non-refundable consideration? People can lose a lot of money. So just always stay on your P's and Q's, okay? All right, listing agent to-dos, okay? And it's funny because we just talked about this, Yolanda, and then sis, when I was thinking about it, I said, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and write that down.
Yeah.
Right, so get everything out the house. Okay,
Yeah.
you're ratified. You're a couple of days before closing. Y'all are going to closing. Let's get everything out the house. Marketing, advertising, shoe cover boxes, your cards, all of that stuff. Okay. Take any extra keys to the title company for the buyer's closing. All right. So a lot of times, if I don't do that, I'll leave a bag of keys in a drawer. I say, hey, all the garage door openers, all the back door keys, all that stuff is in a drawer in the kitchen. And what I didn't put down here is a lot of times if I'm the listing agent, I'll ask my seller, hey, look, everything that you upgraded in the home, can you put this in a little binder for me? It doesn't have to be color coordinated or anything like that, but can you put that in a binder for me and leave it on the counter where the keys are in the drawer, so that they have a fair understanding about a comfortable feeling about this house has been well maintained. Every instruction manual I need to run this house is here. Okay. I always leave one key in the lockbox for the buyer's agent to do the final walkthrough. And when they do that final walkthrough, they schedule it on Century Lock. They schedule it. And I tell the agent, I say, look, take that one key to the closing table with you. Okay, that's your key. So when after everybody's closed, my lockbox is empty, I just can take my lockbox. So after closing, I can take my lockbox, I can take my signs. All right. Now, like we talked about, if we're still in phase one, then after closing, after you get your signs and lockboxes, you should be knocking on the doors of the people around that neighborhood. Hey, look, I just helped Mr. and Mrs. Lovejoy sell their house 2% over market price in this neighborhood. Whatever, right? Don't inflate it. 2% over market price in this neighborhood. Have you considered selling? Give them your card. I know everybody's timetable for selling isn't the same. So it's okay if that's not you today, but I want you to think about me if you have any questions or concerns. I'm always here to help. That's phase one. That's lead gen and follow up. Phase one,
Right.
because you might talk to that person for 3 years and they say, hey, I'm ready. Okay. So just never know. All right. Phase 1, 2, and 3 combined. And I think this might be the last one. All right. Like I said, we're always in lead gen for new clients. Okay. We're always in lead gen. So lead gen and follow up every single day. And what happens is, next thing you know, you got appointments every single day. Okay. Appointments, lead gen lead to appointments, appointments lead to clients, clients lead to contracts, contracts lead to closings, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So lead gen and follow-up is, I mean, even if you're working a full-time, I understand. You know, I had another agent when I first started working. She did things totally backwards than how we do it normally, right? She took her clients out during the day and she did lead gen and follow-up at night. It was different, but she's very successful,
Wow.
right? So I
Yeah.
said, wow, it's different. It allowed me to see that everybody doesn't do things the same way, right? I just want this class, this 3-step phases to be a foundational block for your own house in real estate. You might want a mansion, a townhouse, a single family, whatever. Let this just be your foundation. And then as you grow, you're going to be adding to your resources. You're going to be adding to your systems and tools. You're going to be adding to your contract knowledge, right? You're going to, oh, I know that paragraph 8 talks about, and that paragraph 11 talks about, right? And so once that happens, that instills confidence in your clients. And they're like, whoa, I can go to Melanie. Melanie knows exactly what to do and how to do it. I can sleep well knowing that she's taking care of my real estate needs and desires. Okay. Phase 2, we talked about servicing a client to a contract. That's really big on your systems and your tools, your resources and your availability. You know, if you're a listing agent, you're getting their house ready to the market, right? It's like, hey, let me get your house up and running. Let me get all the relevant information. Let me make sure there's no material defects, no latent defects, you know, all of those things. Let me get photos. Let me upload it to the MLS, right? That's your job as a listing agent. Lock boxes, keys, schedules. Hey, what time of day should I be allowing people in? Those conversations, right? Getting them to a contract. As the buyer's agent, it's more about time, gas, and knowledge, market knowledge, right? Like I got to go open the doors for you, but you can leverage that through other agents by paying somebody. If you have a team, hey, look, I'll give you 20% of the deal. I'll give you 10% of each deal. I'll rev it up. All you got to do is be there to show them. I'll give you 10% of each deal, whatever that looks like. Okay. But every day through follow up. So you got lead gen, then you got follow up. And if
Right.
you're doing this at a high level, you'll end up with a lot of closings. You'll start to see the closings start to come in and come in and come in. Everybody has their downtime or their burnt out time, right? Like I know so many agents that walked away from real estate and came back 3 years later and like, hey, I'm ready to really go. Okay. And that's life. So there's no right or wrong. Again, we just want this to be a solid foundation for your building your real estate career. All right.
Yeah.
Congratulations on closing. Now let's do it again. Let's
Amen.
repeat steps 1, 2, and 3 and grow. And it's what we just talked about. Becoming better at lead generation. I can do that. I can start there. Whatever type of lead generation you're doing, you should test it. It's almost like shampoo or lotion or whatever. They say test a small spot on your body to make sure you don't break out, right? Test
Right.
it. 1, do you like doing it? 2, are you getting the results that you're looking for when you do it? And 3, is it sustainable? Can you, if those 3 things are yes, 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 why would you ever change what you're doing?
Right.
Right. And then understanding the market better. That's just going to come with being out there. That's going to come with a lot of us understand the market because we're from around here. We've grown up around here. We've bought homes. We've rented homes. Right. And so that's like osmosis. Just by being in the atmosphere of real estate, you can pick up on things. And then you have to go to your MLS. You have to use your systems and your tools and your resources. Every time I talk to my lender, she tells me something that's important that I may have overlooked in the equation. And the same thing with my title lady, right? So it's just like, hey, I didn't, oh yeah, I remember that, but I didn't think about that. And thank God I
Right.
sent my client to talk to you versus giving them the concrete answer. Okay. One thing that's big is stopping any auto emails for your clients that closed. right? Like imagine somebody bought 6 months ago and you're still sending them emails every day and they have
Right.
to actually hit the unsubscribe button from you. Oof. Ooh, that hurts. You know, and I mean, think about it. What if they're trying to buy in the future now, and now they're unsubscribed from your emails, so it's harder for them to get back into your MLS. Oof. So once they're done, wrap it all up, keep it all clean, send a congratulation email, a gift, whatever you want to do, but make sure you stop all those drips coming in. You should also be adding to your resources, right? So if you're doing short sales, adding a short sale negotiator, adding somebody that can negotiate with the bank on your behalf, transaction coordinators, adding those things to your life to get your time back, right? Because time is that thing that never stops and you can't get it back, right? So adding to your resources. If your lender fumbled the bag and they let you know on day 25 of a 30-day deal that there was a problem, maybe you need to get a new lender. Same thing with title. Okay? Just know, I hope that it never happens, but it's happened to me. So I always try to kind of put you in contact with people that have never done that to me.
Right.
Okay? But your relationship with those people is your relationship with those people. If you're doing what we're talking about, you're holding it to a high accountability level. And they're going to start to take notice. Oh, Yolanda calls me once a week. Every time we do a deal, she calls me once a week until we close. So I know I got to be sharp.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then finally, continuing your contract education. How often do contracts get updated?
I don't know, but seems like it
In
might be often.
January and July.
No.
Oh,
That's right.
that's
Every 6
okay.
months.
Didn't they just get
They just
updated?
got done. Yeah.
You don't have to
You
do the
you actually came in at a really good time, Yolanda, because they used to have initials on the bottom of each page.
right. Yeah, they had it for the listing thing, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're supposed to remove all, and I believe the contract lawyer said that they're going to remove them from all the documents.
Yeah,
It's
they
just
they
taking
have
time.
because it's not on the land contract. It wasn't on there that I did.
Yep. Yeah. So no more. And now, if you're not sharp on your contract education, what used to help me is I would be at the table with somebody and I would be having them sign a deal face to face back before Zoom, right? I'm having somebody sign a deal and I'm looking at the page and I'm saying to myself, I need to explain this to them because they're signing the initials on the bottom of each page. And so as they're reading the page, they're already reading it. I'm just like, look, that paragraph means this. Let's talk about it. Are there any questions or concerns? But as the time has come where nobody needs to look at those pages, it's just sign the bottom page, the back page. Are you still sharp with your contract?
Right.
So it's food for thought. Okay. You know, tough times create tough people. Amazing times create softer people. They might not be too ready to go to war like they used to be. So I just want you to stay sharp because this contract knowledge, I mean, like they change it up a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ladies, that is it.
Well, thank you so much. As always knowledgeable. Again, thank you so much for the early morning texts and late night calls. I
You're
really
welcome.
do. I don't think
You're
I could have got
welcome.
through it without you. So you're
No,
much
you would have.
appreciated.
It's like I tell Melanie, I tell everybody, you're not gonna need me one day. You're gonna be like, oh, I got it. So
I don't
I
know.
answer. I
I don't
answer
know.
and it's all good.
Well, thank you so much.
One day you're gonna be like Walter. I ain't seen Walter in 2 weeks. All of a sudden, he think he got it. But no, that's honestly, that's what I want for y'all. I want y'all to be so sharp that you can pass it on to somebody else.
Right.
Where you're like, hey, I know it, I got it. Like your son, right?
Yeah.
When your son come in the game, it's like, yo, I got it. I'm gonna sponsor you, son, right? And not only that, I'm gonna show you the ropes.
No, I'm gonna pass them on to you. You know how that's gonna be.
I'm
No,
just saying. I
me.
mean, I'm just saying. You never know, right? Like, but
Right,
that's the kicker, right? And then
right,
in 5 years, Melanie, she may have a team of 20 agents, and it's like, yo, I'm gonna show y'all the ropes so that one, you don't have to be in the mentor program, and two, so that we can stay highly successful in these phases and
right,
keep that revolution. Like you want that thing spinning, spinning, spinning.
right, right, right.
You know, so food for thought. But like questions, comments, concerns, y'all don't ever hesitate to reach out offline, reach out how you got to reach out. You know, I'm always here for y'all.
And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And
You're
nice
welcome.
meeting you,
Hope y'all have a great
Melanie.
evening.
Nice to meet you too, Yolanda.
All right, y'all
Speaking
have
of which, y'all
uh-huh.
y'all think about July, think about August. I know the title lady I work with and the lender I work with said they want to meet all of y'all.
Oh, that would be
So
awesome.
think about times like, do weekdays work? Do happy hour weekdays work? Right? So like Thursdays,
Yeah, you
Wednesdays,
guys let
Thursdays,
me know.
Fridays.
If you let me,
I
like,
work my schedule around y'all.
yeah, I
Okay.
would say give me 2 weeks notice. It doesn't matter what day it is, then I can make it happen.
2
Yep.
weeks?
Yes,
2
2
weeks
weeks.
notice? That going availability. You got that going. Schedule
No,
tight.
no, I just
Schedule tight.
mean like work and other stuff. Like 2 weeks, then I already know. Then it's there, solid. It's like, all right.
No, that's cool. I'm messing with you. It's cool. It's cool. But
Yeah,
nah, ladies,
just let
enjoy
me
the
know. I'll
evening.
definitely work my schedule around it.
I will, and I'll pass out their information, let them know, hey, they're interested. Normally it's somewhere happy hour, waterfront, Alexandria a lot. You remember that place we went to one time, Melanie, with Addie? Like
I don't
took
remember
pictures
what it
to?
was called, but it was so nice.
Yeah, like waterfront and just conversating. Like it doesn't have to be about real estate. It's just
Right.
life and everything else. And real estate just happens to trickle in a little bit.
Well, that'll be awesome because I work out that way anyway. So if it's happy hour, it'd just be me leaving Belvoir, going wherever, we got to meet. So,
Okay, sound good.
yeah.
I can taste the edamame already.
Yeah. Yes.
All right,
Okay.
y'all.
All
All right,
right.
man. Y'all enjoy the
Have a good
night.
one.
Y'all
Okay.
too.
Bye
Later.
bye.